Well, it had to happen eventually. G'day folks, and welcome back to the channel for part number 6 of my Aether Apostate playthrough with Manfred here. If you're watching this series as it comes out, then my apologies for the screw up here. I was actually enjoying this character so much that I recorded 3 episodes back to back for some reason. I only uploaded 2 of them, and then I went to bed. This all happened on Wednesday, and so when Friday rolls around, I see that episode 5 was the last one I uploaded. And so I make what should have been episode 7, but I called it episode 6 because, well, I thought it was. So this episode is going to be a summary of what I did and all the things you will need to know in order to follow along until you get to episode 7, where I'm going to tell you it's episode 6, but it's episode 7 and you can continue on from there. If you're watching this series in the future, when it's already all released, then nothing happened. This is just a trial of a new style of video. I'm going to go over things that I've already done instead of letting you watch it live, and I'm just going to describe it all in the hopes of making the video shorter. Don't worry about feedback, it's fine. I'll go back to normal after this one, and don't think about why I've already decided to abandon this before I tried it. Just go with it, right? Okay, so first thing I did, and that I did mention at the end of episode 5, was faction items. Now, spoilers, I don't die until at least episode 8, but the faction items you want to go over, and before we get to those actually, you will need Respected with Devil's Crossing, with Homestead, and also with the Rovers. Now, if you don't have that, for the Rovers, you can kill Arcovian Undead. So if you go to Twin Falls, you can kill some undead there, go into the Arcovian Undercity, do the totems. There's the 3, technically 4 guaranteed heroes in there that are all worth a decent amount of reputation. So get your rovers up to Respected. If you need Homestead, you can kill Beasts. Pine Barrens for this one. Now, I went to Pine Barrens because I actually didn't have enough reputation. So I went back into Pine Barrens, killed Megara, and whatever on the way to Megara, and then I had enough. And then if you don't have enough reputation with Devil's Crossing, go kill Cronley until you do. I'm pretty sure should have that from killing him the first time, but just in case you for some reason don't, just go kill him again and you'll be good. So, items that you would have picked up, or items that I picked up from Devil's Crossing. You want to look for the Devil's Chest Guard. So on the Respected tab here, this one right here, you can see this is pretty much the same as the one I'm wearing. Slightly worse, but the big thing you're looking for here is the 6% physical resistance and a big number on health. Defensive ability, I don't know if anyone's noticed, but I really don't care for defensive ability, so I don't care if those numbers are pretty small. I would recommend not really worrying about those. You'll have enough defensive ability just from keeping your stats up to date, so don't stress about it. Once you get to level 100, it's something you do need to pay attention to, but until then, it's kind of whatever. So the Devil's Chest Guard is there. You could maybe look into getting the Devil's Bargain. The reason I don't like the Devil's Bargain is because the Arcane Blast, and also this is why I don't like the, I think it's Aether Fire prefix on weapons. It's really short range. This one happens to trigger when hit. I think the Aether Fire one triggers when you attack, which is way better. But they have quite a small radius. It's kind of this much area around you. So if you're attacking things over here, it's going to go off and hit nothing, and it's wasted. So you could consider this. I'm going to recommend actually coming over here to Luther and just do a search for Mage Storm. So if you just do, how do we want to do this? I mean, just type in Mage Storm, Control C to put it in your clipboard, and you can just paste it in, and eventually you'll find something like this. I shopped this up during, actually I think during episode 6, I shopped this up. So you can just go between here and Homestead. So these 2 merchants here, and then if we go over to Homestead, you can hit up our good friend Isaiah Redden, who potentially will have Mage Storm. And then we have Morris up here, who also potentially maybe... No one's got one. It took me a couple of minutes. Just grab whichever one you find first, and then we'll go over weapons in the next episode as well. In episode 7, because we are just... pretend you didn't see that. That's episode 7 stuff. Just ignore that. But we'll go over weapons again in episode 7. The other thing, while you are checking for Mage Storm stuff, is just have a look for rare jewelry. You're going to find maybe 1 or 2 pieces each time, and you could potentially find some really good resistances. The other thing is, leave a personal rift here. If you're going to be going back and forth, leave a personal rift between these 2 merchants, because this one is quite close to these guys, whereas the one in Homestead is considerably further away. I mean, something like this is okay. It's not amazing, it's not even as good as the Slith Primal Ring, but it does have +2 to Word of Pain, which is alright. So anyway, check your jewelry, and check for Mage Storm until you find a weapon. Any one-handed weapon that you can equip, it literally does not matter. Just grab that and be on your way. As I mentioned, in the next episode, we will go over another option, but that's going to be in the future. I haven't actually done that yet, promise. Okay, so that was the Devil's Crossing items. There's also components you want to get here. So these blueprints, you should already have the, where is it? The Aether Soul from Devil's Crossing. If you, for some reason, don't have it, just buy it now. We're going to be making some of these at some point, because they're really good against ethereals. So all of the city of Malmouth, it's really good to have some of these. For a lot of Act 4, if you can, it's really good to have some of these. It's just good to have, so go ahead and grab it. Alright, next one up is the Rovers. And from the Rovers, we are going to want a pair of gloves. So let's go talk to the Rovers. And it's these ones here, the Rawari handguards. The stat that I'm most worried about here on this one is the casting speed. 9% is the top roll. And then after that, I guess probably health or all damage or resistances are good to check for. But just grab a pair of gloves with 9% casting speed on it and be on your way. That's pretty much it. There are items here that you could use, but I wouldn't recommend any of them. Just grab these gloves, and also, if you want to, you can get the Mark of Mogdrogan here. Now, this is hideously expensive in terms of Aether Crystals. If you don't have 12 Aether Shards, each one of them is going to be 3 Aether Crystals, and same for the Ward Stones, either 3 or 4, I can't remember exactly. But I have in my head the number 48, which is the number of Aether Crystals it's going to cost to make one of these. 48 crystals for a single component is nuts. So I very rarely make this while I'm leveling, or if I do, I make one, and then I destroy every single pair of boots I ever put it on, so I don't have to make another one. So, Mark of Mogdrogan, if you want to, and also keep an eye on your iron bits. We still have a couple pieces of gear that we need to buy, so don't spend it all on blueprints. However, Vengeful Wraith, we will need to craft one of these for a devotion shrine later on. So make sure you grab this. You may as well just craft one of these now if you haven't already. And what else? Runestone's really good to have. This goes on your helmet if you're not using your helmet for energy regen. 36% resistances, or if you split that elemental into its 3 types, it's actually 60% resistance, plus additional damage to ethereals and aether corruptions. This is probably my second, maybe third, depending, choice of component for a helmet. It's pretty good. You should probably have it. Restless Remains. These are really good for your gloves on a caster. I'm using the Unholy Inscription here because I need the resistances. But once I can take this off, I will be putting a Restless Remains on it, assuming I ever get to the point where I can take the Unholy Inscription off. So Restless Remains is good, Runestone is good, and Mogdrogan is kind of optional. Grab the gloves. Next up is the Homestead faction stuff. Once again, I've already bought all these, and I think I'm still using them all, which is good. What do we got here? Enchanters. Keeps throwing enchanters at me. I think I've had 4 or 5 of them drop already. I'm also not sure why I'm checking these. +2 to drain essence on a ring is pretty good, but I do tend to use the rings for fixing resistance holes, so I'm not going to use that. Right, so we're here for these guys. On respected here for the homestead. The boots are really good, and these boots are exceptionally good. So 10 to 14 on Aether Chaos and Elemental Resistance here. I've gone for the first decent pair I got. I think I refreshed each of these until I got to the last one. So I would go to DC, I would check the physical resistance on the chest. Oh, it's 5%. All right, I'll go to the Rovers. Oh, it's 8%. Okay, I'll come to Homestead. 12, 12, 12. Well, that's not all 14, so okay, back to DC. Oh, here's 6%. Got it. Don't have to go there. Over to the Rovers. Oh, here's 9%. Got it. Don't have to go to the Rovers anymore. Back to Homestead. These are decent. I don't have anywhere I need to go to reset. I'll take these. Just grab, whatever. Ideally, you'd want 14% Aether Chaos and Elemental, with Elemental being slightly less of a priority, but you're probably not going to get that. So just grab the first pair that's kind of okay. You could also go for the Harvest Grip here. This is the offensive pair of gloves. You've also got the why would you ever wear these pair of gloves over here, but you could go for these instead of the Rowari. I prefer Elemental and casting speed over pierce resistance and offensive ability. Whichever you prefer, doesn't really matter. As far as blueprints go, definitely Sanctified Bone. This is the equivalent of the Runestone, except it's for Chthonics and Undead. So that is definitely good. And this is either second or third top spot in helmets while leveling for me. First spot obviously is Prismatic Diamond, but we can't get that until pretty much... Well, level 55 is when you can get the blueprint and when you can equip the actual component. So I guess totems around that level can drop it, but you generally would buy it in the Ancient Grove. I don't think there was anything else that I bought here. No, there wasn't. So that's what we're after in terms of faction stuff. So during the episode that I've already done, and I'm totally recording for brevity, in terms of skill points, I pushed the bar up, and I think I got to about here-ish, maybe slightly further here, but I would have put 1 point into Vigor here as well. This is just going to give us some crowd control resistance, some health, and some armor whenever Word of Renewal is active. And then this stuff was in episode 7, so don't stress too much about that. In terms of Necromancer, it's exactly how it was, except I've changed some gear around, so these numbers are going to be slightly different. If I just take that off, this is what I've got. I'm getting +5 from somewhere and +2 from somewhere, but that's what I've got. These are all capped. I put in as many points as I can. I've stopped the bar at 20. I don't think I touched the Necromancer side of thing during this episode. As far as devotions go, this is what I've got so far. So it was Aether Fire first, followed by the Hawk, then the Widow, then 1 point yellow, then we did Tortoise, took the yellow out, put it in purple, we did the Empty Throne, and I think we're getting into episode 7 stuff at this point, so I'll stop there, but next up is going to be the Chariot. Yeah, it's looking good. Okay, so skill points done, devotions done, attribute points. I've got 21 in physique and 20 in spirit. I'm kind of just doing 50-50, 1 in physique, 1 in spirit. From memory, I boosted spirit up to 20 and then bought spirit up to, physique up to 20 and then spirit up to 20. It doesn't really matter. As long as you're kind of close, you may need physique for the Devil's Chest Guard. In fact, if I'm remembering correctly, I did have to spend all of the points I had stored up in physique in order to equip this. And actually, I remember saying, if you spent all of your attribute points and you don't have enough for this, You can use the other Devil's Crossing chess piece. It's not as good, but it'll do until you get the physique to use this one, or until you find something different. You could also use the emeralds, the emerald components in rings or helmet in order to get there, if it's going to be enough. Don't stress about it if you can't. Just use the chest from Devil's Crossing that you can equip, and it'll be fine. Chuck some more in physique, and once you can equip this, just chuck it on, and yeah, you'll be fine. You'll probably find a monster infrequent that's going to be as good or better fairly soonish, so don't stress about it. Alright, so in terms of what I actually did, so starting from Homestead, I would have picked up all the quests that I didn't already have from here. I can't remember which ones I already had. I think I got all these in the previous episode. And I'm actually going to run through this again and just kind of point out things as I would have found them. So these guys, I'm gonna do my best not to fight things, but I would have gone up here, and I'm just checking for the totem that's not here. So there are two, well, technically three totems in this section between here and Darkvale Gate, and the first spawn location is just here. So I would have come up here and murdered all this stuff, and then grab the Riftgate and jump in here to the Order of Death's Vigil. This is their sort of super secret hidden home base that's right next door to the super secret hidden home base of Kaiman's. They hate each other, but somehow have not discovered each other because there's a river in the way or something. Anyway, so yeah, Death's Vigil, right here. Go in there, pick up their next quest. It's for the remains of, I think it's Malkadar. You have to have the quest active in order for the remains to spawn, so you need to go in there now and pick it up. From there, I'm going to head over here, and I'm going to rescue the witch. I generally actually don't do this quest because the witch will be giving us a weapon that we don't need, and when we get to the Coven later on, we'll be getting reputation that we don't need, because Coven reputation is incredibly easy to get. So, coming over here, there'll be a witch here on this little burning pyre, or not burning pyre, but pyre for burning, I guess we'll call it. Talk to everybody, play nice, and then tell these guys that you're not convinced that she's taken. They'll go hostile, you can kill them, and then she'll just rescue herself once they're all dead. So she could have gotten out of it pretty much any time and chose not to. So I don't know what would have happened if we didn't come along. But judging by the fact that you don't see her later, you can assume that she's burned at the stake if you don't rescue her. From there, I would have gone across this way. And it's worth pointing out now that you need chaos resistance, and you're probably not going to have it. Let's just kill this guy. So you're probably going to have maybe 20 or 30% chaos resistance, and I would not recommend running into this section here without at least 50%, because Bolvar, I think it's Bolvar. Bolvar lives here, and he's got a pair of chaos pistols that he's going to pew you with, and it's really, really going to hurt, depending on what your chaos resistance is. And also, he actually has the pistols that he's going to drop. So when you kill him, he'll drop them on the floor. But before you kill him, he's going to be using them to shoot you, which means whatever they roll with, attack speed, extra chaos damage, maybe a damage proc, he is actually shooting those at you, and he does get the benefit of those guns. So you really want to have your chaos resistances up. Now, if you don't have much in the way of chaos resistances, you get baked in chaos resistance from the Ascended shoulder plates. So you can go ahead and grab the Aether Flame bounty here, and then go back to Cronley's lair, step foot outside, and in that little section is 2 of the 3 spawn locations for him. You can kill him. He has a pretty decent chance to drop some Ascended shoulder plates, and they come with chaos resistance baked in. Okay, if that's not enough, there is also the resistance potions you can buy from Isaiah Redden, which I remember when I was recording it, I just walked up to him and he just had a chaos resistance potion. So I bought it, I chugged it, and off I went. But he will sell you potions depending on your choice in the quests from earlier. I believe I mentioned this in a previous episode, but if you side with him, you don't kill him, then he will be here and he will sell you potions. So you can Riftgate away, count to 10, come back, and he'll have all new stock. So between a pair of these shoulders at, let's say you roll low and it's like 25%, plus another, I think it's another 20% from that potion, and maybe you've got 10% on the boots, that's enough. That will be enough. If you want some more, you can go for the fire helmet, which also comes with chaos resistance built in. So technically you can have pretty much capped chaos resistance just from shoulders, boots, and a helmet that I'm not using, and then a potion. Like, I'm pretty sure that is 80% straight up. So that's important to know before you go into here, because Bolvar will hurt. Even with capped resistances, he is still going to tickle a bit. He doesn't mess around. So that's important. While you're in this section, you definitely want to get your hands on... Hey, speak of the devil. No, that's Nathaniel. Wrong devil, but I'll take it. And more importantly, chthonic seals of binding. You need one of these for the devotion shrine that I'm about to kind of walk into. And you also need one... you need 3 for the follow-up Death Vigil quest after we get the remains. Now, from memory, the remains I found were... Let me just double check here. I think they were down here. I could be wrong about that. They're not going to show up anymore since I've finished that quest. But if you go on grimtools.com/map, you should be able to find the map locations where they can spawn on that. So I'm going to go find Bolvar running through here. Here he is. And yes, it is Bolvar. Beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and find Bolvar and I'm going to kill him. And his little dog too. And all of their friends. Because I don't really like him. So as you can see, he would have been shooting me with Void Touch to Void Fire, which means extra chaos damage, percentage extra chaos damage, casting speed. These are casted guns, so it's not super... that's attack speed. Okay, never mind. And decaying is more vitality, bunch more chaos damage. You can see how this would hurt, and also he's got the spray that he does as well. I don't know if it really showed super well there, but he gets basically a chaos version of the Purifier's storm shards, or whatever they are, the weapon pool skill. So yeah, he's pretty dangerous. The other thing to be looking for in this section is bodies. They will have a star on them if you have the quest active for the dog tags from the Black Legion. And then this section here, I believe, is where you're going to find the farmers, which is a quest from Captain Soma. So grab all that, and then we'll be on our way. Now, if you find the totem in this area, go ahead and do it. It's not particularly threatening. And if your chaos resistances are good, then you should be fine. So here is the devotion shrine. I've already activated it, so I've paid my Chthonian seal of binding, but it's going to ask for one. So grab that and then continue north up to the Blood Grove, which is where I'm heading now. Alright, so at this point, you've got your seals of binding. You will need 4 total, or 3 if you've already got the devotion shrine, which should be the first thing you spend it on. You've got your 3 seals, you've got your 5 dog tags for the Black Legion, and you've collected the remains of Malkadar. The next thing you're going to want to do is go back to Sorrow's Bastion, turn in the remains of Malkadar, get the next quest, turn in the Chthonian seals of binding, get the next quest, and that is going to be up here. So we're going into the Aether Mines. I'm going to run it again, but I do need to warn you that the Aether Fire on the floor is not messing around, and it doesn't care about your Aether resistance. It will take percentage of your health bar every single tick, and short of having damage absorption, say like from Maven's Sphere of Protection, which we don't have, or from Possession, which we don't have, or from an Aether Cluster, which I didn't have at the time I did this the first time. but you may have it from Cronley's Lair. This can save you once. So I'm going to run in here, and I'm going to stop on this little house first. I would go down here and kill the Aether Crystals, just because I like Aether Crystals and you can never have enough of them. So, why can't I hit that? There we go. I don't know what was happening there. Yeah, so Aether Shard's good. Stop on here the first time, and then jump over here. Kill all this stuff. And I like to go this way. If you're feeling a little bit less likely you want to run across all this stuff, you can just go down here. Either way is fine. This way is a little bit safer. This way has a few more crystals. And actually, as you can see by the way I went, I came through here and then I actually doubled back. So what you can do is you can go over here and get off the Aether Fire. You may or may not obviously have a Bolvarus standing here. There you go. There's a weapon. I could use that one. Make sure you kill the crystal. Is that actually better than what I'm wearing? Not quite. Then you go through the house here, kill this, and be on our way. Now, like I said, I did actually loop around here, grab all this stuff. There is a guaranteed dynamite on the floor down there, which I think flashed on the screen just briefly. I'm going to skip that in the interest of time. Kill this. And then when you get down here, you are going to have an ethereal hero, or actually, technically it's a boss rather than a hero. She's going to be standing here, and what I did was I actually threw Word of Pain at her, and then I ran up the ramp, because I don't want to deal with Venarius at the same time. So she stood here, did whatever it is she does, lots of Aether damage, and I just stood here and held right-click, and then she died. And that was about as much as it was. Then I killed the other crystals, killed Venarius, and there is another dynamite on the ground here, which I did grab. Once you've done that, head back to Sora's Bastion, turn in the quest, and they will give you the next quest, which is up here in the Tomb of the Archon, which is not covered in this episode. So, back to the Blood Grove here, after you've done all the quest turn-ins. Now, we are still in a heavy chaos damage area, and you maybe don't have maxed chaos resistance. So, we're going to fix that before we go any further. And we're going to come over here. We're going to wish these guys weren't here, because they're really in the way. Alright. You can walk off the map here. So, where this little spike is on the map, just walk straight up there and continue up the river. This is... I'm blanking on the name. I'll have it here in a second. But this is a secret shop. It's the worst kept secret in the entire game. But Benevold lives here, and he will sell us Kaimon's badge. Now, you can kill Kaimon's idiots, and they will drop these. Or you can just come to him and buy one. So get yourself one of these that has some sort of resistance on it, or even just grab the first one that's there. Okay. If you happen to need 12% poison resistance, because your old metal had that on it, just re-roll his inventory until you get it, or even, like I said, just grab the first one and be on your way. What of the Aether? Dang, that's not bad. The other thing is you want to grab one of these. So this is the +1 to all Necromancer skills amulet, and this is going to be the only way you can get this in as a Necromancer. Because you can't kill the, because you can't side with Kaimon, means you have to side with Death's Vigil, which means you can't kill them, so they can't drop this amulet. So Necromancer is the only mastery that can't get their own +1 skill amulet. Make it make sense. You literally have to buy it from this merchant, or you need to level as your other class, so leveling up as Inquisitor, siding with Kaimon's, killing a whole bunch of these guys, then taking Necromancer. Kaimon won't let you join as a Necromancer, but they won't kick you out if you pick it later. So that is another way to do it. Also, Blueprint, Skeleton Key. Don't buy this. Never, ever, ever buy this Blueprint. It is available as a quest reward for a quest that you have already completed. I ran out and got rid of the quest because I hate seeing it here. But if you go to the Broken Hills and run out to the Steps of Torment, which I may have already done in the previous video, actually, now that I'm thinking of it. But at some point I did run out there, and if you complete the quest for the ghost at the door, so kill Grand Priest Zarthuzalan, the reward is this blueprint. So don't ever buy this. Alright, so Chaos Resistance on whatever Kaiman's badge you want. I'm currently wearing this one. We're just going to roll with this for the moment. So I went with stats and Chaos Resistance. You can maybe hold out for something better on here if you want. Generally speaking, I recommend people get resistances, but you can maybe go for an Aether Damage proc if you're really keen. But this is going to be replaced in the next episode anyway, so just grab anything for now and move on your way. And same for this amulet. You can hold out for something nice. We'll probably be using this until level 100, likely. I usually recommend people look for Of the Grove as a suffix, but Resistances is the other good thing. You can see the one I have has Purging, which is 41% poison and acid, and then Readiness is OA and DA. So that's the ones I went with. Probably worth shopping a little bit to get a decent Deathwatcher pendant. Just be aware, all of these have double magic affixes, so they're yellow, and they're 30,000-ish iron bits each. If you get a double rare, or triple rare in this case, or even a single rare affix, these things can be quite expensive, so just be careful. I have accidentally bought a triple rare before and went from like 400,000 iron bits to just over 100,000. These can get very expensive, so check how much they cost before you go buying them. That's it. Next stop on our little trip here, I'm going to actually rift back to the Blood Grove. You can just run out of here if you want, but it's about as long to just rift out. Next thing you want to do is, I didn't actually go this way, I went a different way, but if you head down this way, we'll head to the mill, because we have a quest to clear that out, and I did actually do the quest, I just got there a different way. Also, you can see there the Void Touch totems. One of them is going to be running behind this this little, what is this called? Waterfall. And there's a totem down here. You can go ahead and do that if you wish. Seal binding, lovely. But we're not actually here for that. We are here for... I'm totally going the wrong way here. We're here for the mill, which is just up this way. So here it is. When you walk up to it, you won't have Black Legion footmen here. You will have Chthonians / demons / whatever you want to call them coming out of the ground. Go ahead and kill them all, and that's your quest complete. From there, we basically just follow the road, totem potentially here. We follow the road north up to Darkvale Village. You can kill all this stuff along the way. It's probably worth it until you have maybe 10 to 15 Chthonian seals. It's definitely worth killing the guys with the yellow names. Don't go hunting them, don't farm them, but you can definitely kill them along the way. There's the actual totem. The guys with the yellow names have an okay chance to drop them. Later in the campaign, we will find the best area in the game, which is actually kind of here-ish. There's a cave you can go in. There's a whole bunch of them. But for now, just kill all of the yellow-named cultists. And there's really two things to point out. Three things, I guess, in this village. The first one is the dynamite and treasure trove. The village has a dynamite and a treasure trove to open with it every single time. So if you just come up here, you'll see potentially a totem just over here, but if you go left here, dynamite here every single time, and sometimes the treasure trove is right here. Don't forget to break their wardrobe. I mean, it's nothing personal, I just don't like wardrobes, and they sometimes have XP in them. Alright, so I had the totem first time through here. It wasn't there this time. Here's the next place for a treasure trove, so let's go ahead and pop that. You get 2 rare crafting components, and Manticore Eye is pretty good. If you didn't get your your treasure trove already, the next place to check is just over here. Get out of the way. Wait. Just here is the next place to check. Now, obviously, I've already got mine, so makes it hard to show them being there because, well, I already got mine. Next place to check is just here, and if you haven't got it by this point, you missed it, so go ahead and head back and check for it again. The next thing to talk about is the Devotion Shrine, which you should not activate yet. Zarya lives here, and Zarya is very, very dangerous. Now, Zarya is the first boss that ever killed one of my hardcore characters, and she blapped me out of nowhere from full health to dead, and to no one's surprise at all who knows what I'm about to say, it was the crystals. Now, when I fought her on this character, I think I had about 60% chaos resistance. That's going to be more than enough. And I had so much damage. I mean, look what I do, right? I come over here, I stand right next to her, and I hold right click. And she's going to have her crystals come out, and look what happens to her crystals when they come out. Instantly dead. I didn't have to change targets. All I did was literally hold down right click. And Drain Essence split off to those 2 extra targets, drained their essence, and they never got to fire. So we do get a little bit of an easy pass for Zarya. After you've killed her, go ahead and do the Restored Shrine here, or the was it Desecrated Shrine? This is going to be a fight, and you don't want to be fighting these and then have crystals pop up right next to you as like, surprise, now you're dead. So always kill her, then do the Restored Shrine. And that was episode 6. So, like I said, nothing weird happened. I'm just trying something new that I've already decided I'm not going to do. And next episode will be back to normal. Just so everyone's aware, though, this was recorded after the next episode. So my apologies to everyone for the mess up here. And we should be back to your regularly scheduled Manfred episodes going forward. Yep, that's going to be the end. So thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. And goodbye for now.